Well, great start to the game, but as the match wore on, La Rochelle showed their class.
Yeah, I mean, the key was going to be the start. I mean, that's what it always felt like. They're one of the incredibly consistent, fast starters. You know, you watch the Saracens game, they're out the blocks, 6 points out before anything happened. And I kind of thought, well, first 5-6 minutes, and we've contained them, we've got great energy, we've got field position, we've been brave, we've gone for it, scored the try. And it kind of felt like that gave us some foundation in the game. Unfortunately, and this is where you've got to give credit to really good teams, is if you make a mistake, they can punish you. And I think that's what happened. You know, I think if we go through the game and look at some thought process mistakes, some decision-making mistakes, and also at times a little bit of lack of decisiveness. You know, we didn't actually go through with a couple of calls that we said flat out. And when you don't go flat out, you get stodgy, and then that leads to those penalties or whatever. And I think it was an interesting game in some ways that showed what a good team can do, what a good team can capitalise on if you make mistakes. But again, it's also going to let us add some layers of experience to some young guys who've not been here that long and not played that many games. That, you know, there's so much more there. You know, that game didn't need to get to be a 20 points difference. It never needed to get like that. We could have done more things, but the truth was, literally every defensive slip we made became a try. Every kick error put us under pressure, and when the flip side of it, if it comes out quite well, it puts them under pressure. And then obviously, what happened was errors got compounded doubly almost. So an error then led maybe to their scrum put in, and early in the game they were getting a scrum. They got some advantage of the scrum pen, bang, you're in the corner, you're defending again. Then there comes the yellow card before half time, and things can snowball. And we've just got to work very hard with this group to add the layers of experience so that they know how to deal with that kind of snowstorm of stuff as it comes at them.
Bit of a killer just around the half-hour mark where John Gray got a bad injury, and then Dan Frost got a yellow card straight away.
And I think that was a little bit the key, because Johnny's knee goes. It becomes a penalty because he can't move in the ruck. We deal with it, but then the penalty gets kicked to the corner. We're in the corner. Yellow card for Frosty, bang, and it was kind of, that's what I mean. And some of those things, they just snowballed against us. I mean, I've got to give the players a lot of credit. You know, it's a tough place to turn up and get on with things and play, and we did. We turned up and we went at it hard, and I've got to give the guys great credit for that. But like I say, the one thing I'd like them to do is just be a little bit more decisive. Just in a couple of attacks we did run, they just got bogged down. I think actually in the end stage, when we just had a bit of freedom just to go for it, that's how we wanted to play. We wanted to create that kind of fast, and I'm not going to say fast and loose, it doesn't need to be loose, but that fast, multi-phase, ball moving around type of game, as you create a fatigue element. We just weren't quite strong enough to get that done, either mentally or physically, earlier in the game.
Good to finish on a high though, something for the supporters to hang on to this evening.
Yeah, and I think it's two things. I think probably the scoreline is probably not the best reflection of the game in a way, but for two ways. We probably don't merit those late scores in the way we got them, and probably we deserved a bit more earlier in the game, so that a couple of the La Rochelle soft scores don't happen, and it becomes a more competitive game a little bit earlier in the game. But it is what it is. We've got to look at the positive. We've got to move forward. You know, Exeter Rugby Club will still be playing next week against London Irish in the Premiership. We'll still be turning up first game of next season. You know, we've got to get on with things without these players. And as I'm going to miss these guys because they've been amazing players. I count some of them as they'll be lifelong friends of mine. They've been incredible things. We've been on an incredible journey together for 10, 12, 13, 14 years, some of them. That's amazing. But I'm also looking forward to next year, because I'd like to start a journey with some of these other guys. You know, it'd be amazing to watch guys like 𝙍𝙀𝘼𝘾𝙃 and Tom White. These guys are just starting, and Tom Kearns. These guys are just getting into the team now. You know, Chris Chisholm's, 𝙍𝙀𝘼𝘾𝙃. It'd be amazing to see them lifting a trophy one day. And you know, that's got to be what we become focused on now.
Thank you very much, Rob.